Couldn't really be that team ball, but all right, we ready? All right. We got threes, we got twos, we got ones. That means we are back in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another episode of the Say Something show.
Yes, sir.
Got my boy Mitch to the left or to your right, and you got Benny in the building. Back to host another phenomenal show with an agenda that really we got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, sure.
Apologies for us being gone for a bit, as we always say when that happens. Life is lifing, so things happen. Some people get sick, some people go places, right? And so we're not always here, but we try to be as much as possible, and we're glad to be back. So if you have been around, you would know that we do have traditions here, and our main tradition is just how we kind of blend into the show on the daily, and that is with a check-in. And so, Mitch, how are you doing? Tell the people what's going on.
Man, I'm doing good. I was down bad with the flu for a little while. Had to put the pod on hiatus for a minute, but I'm back now, ready to go.
Yes,
been handling some coaching opportunities I'm about to be a part of. Maybe some clubhouse management for the Oakland Ballers.
Okay.
Working for them. Tight. So some exciting prospects moving forward. Be working for Bishop O'Dowd, coaching their baseball team. So local high school around here. But those are the things I've been kind of focused on, but now ready to get back into the pod.
Absolutely. And where I'm at, I'm bulling, no, I'm relaxed, man. I'm in the full swing of things in terms of back on my last leg of school before I get this master's. And, I'm also just in the full throes of the internship.
Yep.
So things are good though. I feel like I've gotten used to everything. So it's a little bit calmer than it was that first go round. The only thing that's kind of stressing me for those who have been a part of certain master's programs, there is usually a final paper or project at the end. That's pretty daunting. This one is definitely that. Yeah. And so that's the one concern. But I do think that the way my classes are structured this semester, I should have a good opportunity to attack it, make the most of my time, my spare time. And it'll be all right. And it is something that I'm passionate about. So I'm hoping that the combination of those two things just leads to success, which undoubtedly I've had that prior. So let's just finish off with the 4-0, man. And cheers to that. But I'm ready as well for the show.
Young valedictorian.
Man.
First of the class.
Come on now, man. First one.
That's how we do it out here.
Definitely gonna bring my boys to the graduation. We back at
Is it SF?
What's the park called though?
The park? Oracle Park?
You're right, Oracle. I don't know why I almost said AT&T. It is Oracle Park. So we'll be all in there enjoying the night, man. I'm gonna walk out of center field like some of my favorite ballers did, So I'm excited for that. But yeah, we got a big agenda, so let's hop in without further ado.
Get it.
We'll start off with the NBA, which is, if you guys are up on it, lots been going on. The stove is hot, and you need to open the back door if you're in the kitchen. So we're gonna go over some of the trade deadline stuff that's happened. And we will also talk about our beloved Warriors and kind of where they stand. And obviously we have an injury update that is not new, but is new to the show. So it needs to be introduced in terms of our boy Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
We got to give a quick get well. We know we haven't highlighted that yet on the show, but he did take a ACL spill.
He's done so.
And those are a year. That's a good 12 months for the guy. And he's not getting younger, so it's not going to get easier to heal. So just wanted to put that there for context before we dive on into the rest of the stuff. First and foremost, I think that we can just go over kind of what has been going on with some of our overall free agency moves. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to highlight any to go, and then I can jump in afterwards, and we can go like that.
So we first started off with the Wizards making moves. They went and got Trae Young,
big dogs
from the Atlanta Hawks, who seem to be free selling everybody who had old contracts. They want to bring a youth movement in. So also the Wizards went out and got AD from the Mavs.
Big moves.
Like we were talking about before, Benny, you were saying the GM needs to get a nice little raise, nice little round of applause because he got rid of a bunch of people that nobody wanted. Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Marvin Bagley III, a couple first-round picks.
C.J. McCollum.
C.J. McCollum. Let's get rid of all these guys, and we'll see what happens after we let A.D. and Trae Young sit. We got some good youth around them, and if we tank the rest of this season, we got a high draft pick. So they made some good moves over there with some high-profile players. More recently, a quick little move that was made between the Clippers and the Pacers. Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson and a couple picks over to the Clippers for Zubac and Kobe Brown. Kobe was just that extra addition in there, but the real prize for them was getting Zubac. I think that's going to be good for them. They really didn't have much of a front court out there, and they got a lot of guards, a lot of smaller dudes that they can work around now with a solid big man who can give you double-doubles and protect the rim. Other than that, we had a lot of the smaller moves. More notably, we can talk about our move for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield are out over to Atlanta, and now we got Kristaps Porzingis over here in the Bay Area. Hopefully, this will be something that works out for us. Really, it all comes down to availability. We got a guy like Jimmy Butler, who's a superstar. He's down and out, getting another year older, about to be, 37, 38.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how he comes back moving forward.
Yep.
And kind of the same thing goes for Kristaps Porzingis, because ever since he's been in the league and then got traded to traded from the Mavs to who was it?
Well, he got traded to Washington at
Washington.
one point.
He's been traded around and just hasn't been.
Then he went to Boston.
Boston too, just hasn't been available. There's been times where he's had stretches where he's been on the court and things have looked good, but if you can only do that 15, 20 games a season, not really that great of an asset for us. And then Atlanta is going to have a free runway for Kuminga to do whatever he wants over there.
Absolutely.
There's really no competition, and besides Jaren Jackson getting the ball a bunch, other guys are really spreading it around, and it'll open up the lanes for him. So it'll be nice for him to get a new fresh start that I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he probably thought he was going to Milwaukee, but this was a quick pivot that we decided to make after clearly we weren't giving enough to the Bucks for them to want to let that piece go to us. But again, it's a cool secondary option, but only if he's going to be somebody who's going to be available to us.
100%. 100%. Another trade that I'll highlight, all those were huge moves. Also, we had James Harden on the move going to Cleveland, which is
Garland.
Pretty shocking for the boy. Yeah, D. Garland. That seemed to transpire very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those deals that I didn't hear about until it felt like it was already almost done.
Right.
Definitely a debatable move to talk about as well. We'll kind of get back to talking about these at this point. We're just kind of making sure we get the major ones out there. As well, you had, one of the other notable things actually for us that I thought was out there was the Nets waived Cam Thomas.
Yeah, I was seeing that too.
Which for me is like,
okay,
yeah, right now, go get him.
Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Pick him up,
please, because that could be something that we could utilize.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Knicks, I think this was a sneaky one, acquiring Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans. I think that's a playoff kind of move.
Mm-hmm.
That's like based on series, right? Like, and who you'll match up against, because he's definitely kind of like a shutdown corner on the right guy, right? And they definitely are offsetting that with a Brunson, who is absolutely the opposite of that. So that's another very interesting one. We also have Jaren Jackson Jr. on the fly. So Memphis is gone.
Mm-hmm.
The team that we know from Memphis,
and nobody wants Ja
out the window. And Ja has worked himself into a position of, like you said, he is the lone man on the island and unwanted. Nobody's coming with that boat.
He's beefing with people on the team. Nothing but trouble.
It's looking ugly. And so Jaren Jackson Jr. goes to who? The Jazz, which is who, what, where, when, why.
They got
for 4 firsts. I mean, it was crazy. You know what I mean? And to think what Memphis has gotten for Desmond Bane, they too, honestly, like, it's crazy because I don't know. It must have been all kind of internal stuff for why they needed to break up, because their team's not old.
Right.
And they really were a playoff team, and they just seemingly destroyed it for nothing. But I will say they got back a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They got Desmond Bane, I think, as well for 4 firsts or 3 firsts.
Yeah.
They got him up. So they have like 13 first rounders coming up. Something that's really looking kind of how the Thunder were moving there for a bit. But, you know, there was news as well that we could have been in on that, which we'll get in on in a bit as well. But also, this is one that I wanted to highlight that I thought was an interesting one. Rob Dillingham getting sent to the Bulls for Ayu Dosunmu. Yeah, which I think is a good move both ways. I mean, Rob Dillingham is one of these guys that I just think, God, why did they make that move when they traded for him in the draft? It didn't make sense in the moment where it was like giving up future assets to take a guy that I wasn't sure was going to – they were already in the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Like, you need a guy that's going to come in and really be plug and play. And then they get a guy that, you know, honestly played above where he was at, you know, and could be a key player for them down the stretch. But Chicago, I think that was their best move to getting somebody back.
And then to keep going with Chicago, they traded Vučević for Anthony Simons. So Boston Bulls little swap right there. That's somewhere
it's pretty big.
I looked at where I was like, damn, we couldn't have done something like.
Yeah,
I feel like we could have thrown something at them to get a nice little Vučević action. I think that would have helped us, but that's a good pickup again for the Celtics.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, who we do it with before? Kristaps Porzingis didn't work out there, but you know, same like bringing in when they brought in Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just another nice, solid big man for them.
Absolutely. And then the next two, these two for me are pretty dope as well, just in terms of general moves. But you had Jared McCain getting sent somehow to the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a first-round pick, but I think that's a massive mistake by Philadelphia. I think Jared McCain is dope, and I think there's no reason to give a guy like that, who also is a chemistry guy, like a glue guy, over to the team that's the most glued up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like they got VJ. They got very lucky with VJ. They are stacked, but I think that's slipping. And you can tell the team was not happy that trade ended up happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then was there any other one? Do you have another one?
Another one was that was kind of like, what the hell is going on? The Kings and the Cavs made a trade. DeAndre Hunter is now going to be on the Kings for Dennis Schröder and Keon Ellis. It's like I don't know what that does for either team. The Cavs had just traded for DeAndre Hunter, and he was a solid part of their lineup. So it's kind of interesting that they decided to go away from him. But I guess you bring in a guy like James Harden, and it's like we need somebody else to get out of the way so he has full reign.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. And then the Lakers getting Luke Kennard.
I
thought that was a pretty interesting one for Gabe Vincent. You know, I feel like that's a good trade.
A second-round pick for sure.
Pick.
Last one that I'll highlight is Colin Sexton and Ousmane Dieng, and some second-round picks getting moved from Mike Conley and Kobe White as the main point to Charlotte Hornets, which I actually think they kind of came up a little bit too with their moves. But that's another interesting trade where two pretty prolific scorers out the guard position. But I think Kobe White, to me, gets the edge in terms of like, you know, I think still has a little more to go, a little more for us to see.
And then, you know, quick little shout out to our boy TJD, man. Sucks to see you go. Trace Jackson Davis out of there.
Raptors.
For a second round pick, man. I feel like he still could have been somebody that we could have used over a second round pick, but that's just the way the business goes, man. So thanks for your time and for the Warriors, man, and hopefully better things to go.
Absolutely. And it looks, again, like we're stacking up picks and just a bunch of things going into this offseason, which, Lord knows, we haven't been the best at closing things down, which before we move on, I think, you know, the one big rumor that's going around, which seems to be more than a rumor, which you kind of already discussed the whole Kristaps thing, so I don't feel like I need to talk too much other than saying, you know, I think if he plays, he's a just fine fit. Does he move the needle without Jimmy Butler? Absolutely not. He's also an expiring contract, so the likelihood of him ever playing with Jimmy Butler is very low. But, you know, in terms of like how we play, our style, he's a guy we talked about 4 or 5 years ago, loving to get over here. We just never made it happen. The one thing that I now want to talk about, as I said before we move on, is the rumor of Jaren Jackson being a guy that Warriors had targeted. And basically, it sounds like we had pretty deep advanced discussions with Memphis. And it looked like we had some sort of a deal on the table. And we seemingly backed out immediately, full force, return to base when we heard that Giannis was officially on the block.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fans are very, very upset. What do you think about that? How do you feel overall about that rumor? Obviously, we can't change the past, but
I think that would have been a great pickup for us if it wasn't going to be the same kind of package that we sent for Kristaps Porzingis. I think that would be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I personally would want to give up like a little, even any more than we just gave up for somebody like Triple J, especially a team that is trying to get, offload players. And so it's more to our advantage. But again, it just comes down to the fact that he'd be available for us.
Yeah.
He's a solid player, but he plays interesting. Like his size at this big position, he's not like crazy at rebounding.
No, he's not good at all.
And so it's just like he would have been he's a good enough player to make our team better, but at the same time, the kind of the things we need from that position, I don't know if he would have like upgraded us that much more than even like a TJD in terms of just like, we need you to rebound. That's playing them down a little bit.
Oh, that is totally. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't let you do that.
But just, I don't know. For me, it would have been kind of a neutral move, and it would have been better because he's a younger guy and he's available. But I don't know if I would have wanted to give it up too much more, and I don't know if I'm like so like upset as of right now as we're explaining that some fans are. But I can understand we had somebody who's better than Porzingis, obviously, that we could have got, but we tried to shoot for the stars and get Giannis. And sometimes that'll bite you in the butt like it did this time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I actually, to me, it really just depends on the price tag. Kind of like Mitch was saying. I mean, I know we wouldn't have been able to get him for just like the deal we got Kristaps, because Kristaps is definitely damaged goods. And, Triple J, to be honest, he's the reigning defensive player of the year, 26 years old. Obviously, he has his limitations, but he is one of the very few players that shoots, 38% from three, stretch big, and then also is providing, when he's at his peak, Anthony Davis level defensive stats, right? And in that context, I really do think if we had been able to get him for 2 firsts and you throw Kuminga in there along with whatever it was, Buddy Hield, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I would have been totally good with that because I actually think he does fit the roster. Would we still need rebounders? Yes. Would we still be needing to go get certain things done? Absolutely. But I do think that because of his 3-and-D potential, and because that defense is at a very high level in terms of what he's going to provide, I think we already have a pretty good system defensively. I do think it would have changed, and I do think if Jimmy was still I think that would have also made that trade a must-do. Like, if Jimmy was still in the picture, I think you add Triple J to what we got going, and maybe we even have to add in Al Horford or somebody like that for salary to get the deal done, right? But, like, I think he would have been good alongside Draymond. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're both Michigan State boys. And so, I really did like the fit. I wouldn't have done 4 firsts, right? And I don't think we would have had to, because I don't necessarily think our firsts – I think our firsts are up there in terms of value because a lot of it is the post-Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So, I think maybe 2 would have got it done. And with that, I'm a little frustrated. Where it's like, I love the idea of Giannis, but I think to pull all troops out, you got to have a pretty good sense that you're not going to get outbid, right? That you have what it takes. And for us to have gone all in so early, that's worrisome to me that they weren't willing to be kind of multitasking while they were doing all of that, because a lot of good pieces, like we talked about, ended up flying out the window while we were just sitting there, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. So, yeah, I'm a little frustrated with that, and I think the other piece that I'm a little frustrated with is honestly the Anthony Davis move. Like, I feel like if Anthony Davis is getting moved for that, that's 2 firsts, right? And if we're making those early on our 2 firsts, like not the latter ones, right, and you're throwing that in there, like, I'd rather take that injury risk than this one, obviously. And I think that it also we would have been in a much better position for next year, like whenever Jimmy does come back or whatever the case is, right? So those 2 for me are a little frustrating, but it's not anything that I would have been willing to throw the treasure trove at. All right, last thing in the NBA sector is Amari Bailey's attempting to go back to college after a failed pro career. Failed is kind of crazy because he did get drafted in the first round, I believe, and then he did, play for a little bit, but obviously was not at the level that he would have liked. we're not going to stay on this too long, but what do you think about like the idea of this back and forth with pros?
I mean, I think it's going way too far at this point.
I think it's insane.
It doesn't even make any sense. They opened up this NIL and transfer portal and made it kind of lawless. It seems like you can do whatever you want if you can find some kind of loophole, just work around that. But I mean, it's just taking the sanctity out of college sports in general. You know, I get it. You want more because you know the high ups are the ones making all the money off of what you're doing and your talent. But it's like, bro, like we don't have college sports anymore. No. Essentially, you know, it's just, and that sucks, you know, because it's
like the mini pros.
Yeah, it was nice, you know, it was something that was nice back in the day. And now it's all about the money. And again, that's what it was about before, and it was only going to certain people. And so now you can't, in my mind, you can't really knock anybody who's trying to get their money through all these options and all this available money that's out there now. But at the same time, it's just like, yeah, it's no more nostalgia in college football or college sports anymore, and that's just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you said it very well. I just think that it's too confusing. I don't know even what it means to be a college athlete anymore. And so, yeah, I don't believe that that's a good thing.
Because, like, just imagine anybody who's not, like, anybody we've ever named before. Like, are those people really thriving because of NIL, or is just, like, all these young transfers or young guys coming out of high school not even getting chances unless you're a top 50 player? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we'll take the 23-year-old guy if he wants to come play for us, because that's a much better chance I'm going to win with 23-year-olds against 18-year-olds, no matter who the great 18-year-olds are.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to the NFL, we have a quick Super Bowl preview. If you guys are unaware, we have the Seattle Seahawks going against the New England Patriots. Two teams that, for me, just don't do it. Just not fun. But I'm going to let Mitch go in and just however you want to attack it. Go ahead.
So Seahawks are coming in hot. New England's kind of been the team that people are like, how the hell? Like, they've been having some fortunate games throughout these playoffs. Drake May has been playing incredible. 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in that MVP debate. It's like, what the hell? You guys just had Tom Brady. Now you guys already got somebody else. Like, give some other teams a chance one time.
Right.
And then Sam Darnold, I think the Seahawks are a little bit more well-rounded, especially when it comes on offense. Both defenses are very, very solid. But Kenneth Walker back there, Zach Charbonnet and the boys, if he can come back and be anything, their team is looking solid to me.
Jackson Smith and
Jigba
might be the best wideout.
I mean, you see what happens when you don't have a good quarterback with the best receivers in Justin Jefferson. We got to give props to Sam Darnold for what he's doing.
Absolutely.
People can still doubt him, say, oh, he's kind of whatever still. Nah, he's been doing this. He did it with the Vikings. Look, you see what happens when you take him away. The team sucks now. JJ just can't do nothing. Jackson Smith and Jigba, we haven't really heard too much about. This year, he's the best receiver in the league damn near. So there's good things happening on that offense, good cohesion, whereas you got Stephon Diggs as your best receiver on the other side. He's kind of past his prime. He's not really separating. It's kind of been more of these games have been advantageous for the random big play. It's like, oh, we're in the snow. Oh, I randomly got away from 3 guys. Now I'm wide open. So it's been good, but the offense hasn't been impressive compared to what I've seen with Seattle. And so for me personally, I think Seattle has the upper hand. Wouldn't be surprised though. It's like you're saying, both these teams. It's like either you guys can win on any given day, and so hopefully Seattle shows up because Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year this year with the Patriots. I don't know if they can get over this hurdle because, like I said, had some nice complimentary games coming into the playoffs, a snowed out game, a game against a backup quarterback. So a lot of advantageous things happening for the Patriots, and I think the buck stops here, and I think Seattle takes care of business.
Yeah. I mean, again, that was well said. I feel like Seattle's defense might be the best in the league as it's all shaped out, and then offensively, you know, they're definitely capable of putting up the 40 WAP. for me, it's like less about the Seahawks and more about like I think we've seen like one solid win from the Patriots in the last like 5 weeks, like beyond the playoffs. And like they're a good defensive team. So like they can stay in games, no doubt. But I do feel like they have these offensive lulls where they don't run away from you like the Seahawks can.
Right.
And like they definitely are not built to go down and come back either. So that's where I really worry is like there's one kind of path that I see New England winning this game, and there's multiple different paths that I can see for Seattle to win it. So I'm going to go Seattle as well. But yeah.
Also, I feel like I can't name him right now. Whoever the Seattle coach is very reminiscent to the Indiana coach.
Yeah, McDonald, I think his name is. Mike McDonald, maybe.
And so just if you ever watched, he has some clips about talking to his team and the team meetings and stuff that are very inspirational. And it seems like he's just got all the guys behind him, and it seems like they just are on a mission, whereas it seems like Mike Vrabel and the boys are just like, whoa, yeah, it's happening. Just keep winning. Right. Whoa, okay, awesome.
We're here.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And we'll see. We'll see. That's coming up this Sunday, and that'll be at Levi's Stadium. So that's out in Santa Clara if you don't know. And if you're not from here, you probably assume that it's in San Francisco. But
and if you don't have $4,000, you're probably not getting in.
Right.
That's what the lowest tickets I'm seeing right now.
Absolutely. And it honestly is going to be, if you haven't been to that stadium, the way they deal with traffic, not the greatest.
There's going to be a lot of walking going. There's a lot of space between that parking lot and that stadium, boy.
Man,
God damn.
It's tough. It's tough. So moving on to the local teams.
And Baboni's going to be there.
Yeah. Shout out to Boni Sundi. But yeah, it's gonna be tight. It might be monumental if you know what I mean, in terms of what he might do in his performances based on where the world's at. But this is a sports show. So we're gonna push on forward to the teams that we grew up idolizing and rooting for. And since you guys have a little more urgency in the discussion based on where last season left y'all, I'm going to let you lead it off with the latest rumors on the number one pick, and then a little discussion as well about a new coach incoming.
Yeah, so potentially the Raiders have been talking to the offensive coordinator from the Seattle Seahawks, Clint Kubiak. Potentially he could be our new head coach moving forward. I know right now, you know how it goes with coaches that are currently coaching for the championship or Super Bowl. Hey, I'm totally focused on my guys right now, and then we'll move on. But he needs to bring his ass on because we got a lot of work to do. And it's going to start with deciding, are you going to have Fernando Mendoza as your man coming in as a rookie QB as a new head coach? And then how will you build around him? Because as currently constructed, Raiders are ass. So we need to be making some moves. Clint Kubiak needs to be bringing in a new system that's going to get everybody reinvigorated and ready to go moving forward. And hopefully he can put a lot of trust into Fernando Mendoza to help push along this franchise and get us back to a winning way that we haven't had in about 25, 30 years. So big moves to be made. We'll wait to see what happens post-Super Bowl when maybe we can finally get it official and he's in there and he can actually start making some things happen. Tom Brady at the Super Bowl with them, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully they're in talks and discussions about how we can better the Raiders moving forward. But that's what we're looking at right now is using that number one pick, most likely from Fernando Mendoza, and having Clint Kubiak come in here and bring some new sauce to our offense and get people excited in the locker room.
How do you feel about that? That's the son of Gary Kubiak, right?
I'm excited about it, but at the same time, we've had a plethora of coaches over the years that's like there's been different amounts of excitement for each one of them, and they've all done ass. So it's unfortunate, but until we get a coach that's in there for a few years that shows any kind of progress rather than like 8-8 is the best we got. And like that was a bunch of wins that we got at the end of a season that we probably shouldn't have because we would have been better to tank, but that's the kind of teams that we have. Is the teams that are barely pushing 500 and always getting like that 15th pick. And it's just like, nah, we need to be a team that's progressing, making moves in free agencies that make more sense rather than, all right, let's just, try and win one for coach at the end of the year. Like, let's switch up the mentality that we got going. Let's make some smarter moves in the front office because that's where it starts with any of these teams.
I am at least happy that he's a younger coach, 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, having watched him in our division this year, that offense is very, very good. A lot of movement, a lot of moving parts. And like he loves his tight ends, and like he's coming to a team that has some of the best. The real question for me will be, are you guys going to get a wide receiver? Like, is there a wide receiver one coming, or somebody that's versatile that can help support what's already there? Ashton Genty, and of course that line we all know.
Yeah, that's where it's
needs improvement.
That line is to do all those things that Clint Kubiak wants our team to do in terms of the running scheme. It's like those offensive linemen got to be moving and cohesion.
Yep. Which the Raiders have not done well at lately.
No, since Derek Carr.
Yeah. So it needs to be redone. And the last time they had a good line, they blew it up immediately. So good news that there is stuff happening, and apparently as well, Tom Brady is back in it.
Well, it's just so often that there's new news that's always perceived to be optimistic. We always got to be optimistic because every year there's another move, and what are you just gonna hate every move?
Right. So, how can you keep rooting? Yeah, no,
we got to be positive every time until week 4, and then he kills it. He sucks now.
Right. You did it again.
And look, the Seahawks got rid of him. They went to a Super Bowl, so hopefully he brings that magic. We kicked him out. It's our turn.
Right. Same team. Moving on to the Niners, not a lot to talk about, but one or two big things, which is Raheem Morris, who's the former head coach of the Falcons, was our defensive coach hiring, and I'm very happy with that. I personally think he's kind of the guy that's really more built to be a coordinator. Not that he lacks personality, but I think he's a scheme first guy.
Yeah.
And, I think that he will, like some of these other coaches who have had head coaching jobs and then fallen back into coordinating roles, I think he'll be able to really capitalize on it all. He'll have a team that's getting all the goons back. But I think he's definitely going to be capable. He makes very creative schemes. And he likes to run systems that will capitalize on the skill players we already have on that roster. It'll be interesting to see how he impacts the draft this year. But I'm very excited out of the names that were there and the possible internal signings that were going to be lifted up. This to me was about as good as it gets. Very sad to see Salah leave.
Yeah.
But
good for him too, though.
Good for him. I think Titans is going to be a tough job to take, but a lot lower expectations. So I think he'll last longer. And it's very clear what difference it makes when you have a good coach there for us. Like, we've had talented defenses, and they just haven't looked the same without Salah, without DeMeco Ryans, and all those kind of guys who have stepped in and been really, really, really good coordinators. And then when we have guys like Steve Wilks, we're out there somehow still making it to a Super Bowl, but we're giving up 30 a game.
Yeah.
And we're having to score 45. With a team that has too many good players to be saying that. So I'm excited for that. And then the secondary thing to highlight is right now we had C-Mac winning Comeback Player of the Year. So quick clap for that boy. Welcome back. And he sure carried the load this year. Probably too much for anybody coming off that kind of injury.
Like, damn, bro, I have my man in Fantasy Football Dynasty League. Is it time to get rid of him?
Right.
Just in case,
trade.
My man got ran to the ground, boy, this year.
Tough. Myles Garrett won DPOY, and we had Ted McMillan winning Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Are there any other ones that are worthy of highlighting?
Yeah. So keep it going. We got Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ted McMillan. Defensive Player of the Year, or Defensive Rookie of the Year, we got Carson Schlesinger from the Browns.
Wow.
Linebacker.
Nice.
Had a great season. Protector of the Year was Joe Tooney for the Chicago Bears.
Big boy.
Also, we had, Coach of the Year, like I mentioned before, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
We had Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Came away with that award.
Saw that coming.
And then for MVP, top quarterback this season, like we were mentioning before, Matthew Stafford comes away with the MVP this season. Had a great season.
Wow.
What was it? Had 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns. He was going absolutely crazy. So at age 37, after so many years of being a slanger, doing his thing, he finally gets his MVP, and it's well deserved.
Who was that over? Was it over?
Probably over Drake May.
Drake May?
Likely.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anybody else in this discussion.
That's crazy.
Maybe
I mean, that seems like a by default win then. But yeah.
I think he had the best stats this season at quarterback.
No, definitely.
He had how many touchdowns to Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua going crazy.
Beast.
Basically the Rams go as Matthew Stafford goes.
Oh yeah,
because that defense has not been like too crazy over the last few years.
I mean, they've gotten a lot better, I will say, defensively, especially in these last 2 years. But like they still, like you said, it is a team that if that offense ain't running how they need it to be, they're not going to be the same.
I mean, that's why they didn't win the playoffs,
Yeah, no, I've been sad ever since he came to the division because he is really, really good.
He had a stretch where he had 28 touchdowns without an interception this year. So
yeah, cooking, absolutely cooking. Moving on to the MLB, obviously we had the World Baseball Classic is coming up, so we had those rosters drop. And then we also have a couple free agent updates that we'll go over. So I'll let Mitch take that away as well.
All right, so we can start with our Team USA roster. Some highlights or names to highlight from the pitching staff. We got Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal, arguably the two best pitchers in all of baseball.
Beast.
We got young guys in Nolan McLean coming from the Mets. He's a young fireball thrower. Logan Webb, a great guy to have from your San Francisco Giants.
The boy.
Absolute hoss up there. And then we got flamethrower Mason Miller from the San Diego Padres, throwing 103 miles an hour. Going to be closing games out for us. And then our lineup is absolutely crazy. We got Alex Bregman. We got Bryce Harper, Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang, Bobby Witt, Corbin Carroll, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Schwarber, and the captain, all rise, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Wow. Aaron Judge. Wow.
I was like, Aaron Jones has been a while for what he's going.
We got a team that can compete with anybody. It's going to be a tough World Baseball Classic.
Who are the
Dominican Republic.
Okay.
You got Japan, the defending champs. So those are probably going to be the biggest obstacles anytime there's going to be a World Baseball Classic. But
are we the favorite?
I don't think so. I don't think we would be. I mean, Japan just won it last time.
Right.
And I don't think they've gotten any worse. So our team is definitely at the top of the list of teams that can win. But I think it's a three-headed race.
Yeah.
Japan, USA, and Dominican Republic. Because, I mean, if you look at the DR's lineup.
Yeah, what is it?
I mean, let's check it out real quick. What is it? Fernando Tatis. You're getting rid of people who are like absolute all-stars on that team. But Fernando Tatis is going to be on that team. Junior Caminero, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, Ketel Marte, Jeremy Pena, Geraldo Perdomo, Agustin Ramirez, Carlos Santana, O'Neal Cruz, Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto. Just like their whole team is nothing but ballers. Sandy Alcantara is going to be pitching for them. Your boy Camilo Doval is going to be pitching for them. Carlos Estevez. Christopher Sanchez, lights out for the Phillies, is out there. Freddie Peralta for the Mets, 200 strikeout guy per season. Luis Severino is going to be out there. So Abner Uribe, who's a shutdown Milwaukee reliever.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of guys. They're just as stacked as any team out there. I mean, like I said, they're leaving guys. I think Jose Ramirez just got hurt. So it's like
we lucky.
But Junior Caminero is going to be the next guy. It's like when those
I'm coming right
compared
now.
to like the USA roster where it's like, oh, that starting lineup, let's go. But after that, it's kind of like, they're all right. But you go on this one, it's like, no, you're replacing one all-star with another all-star when it comes to
or a rising star.
Yeah. So I mean, they don't even have Ellie De La Cruz out there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it's like they got
gross.
so
But is
many,
he like injured or something? Because there's no way they're not. He's got to be injured.
There's just got too many people out there. It's pretty crazy. So
what's Japan looking like? Like how are they even? Like it confuses me. They're just pitching heavy, right?
Japan is like
they just shut you down.
Like how for like basketball, all the other countries, it's like we just play together a lot. Like we stay
the cohesion.
There's cohesion there. Japan basically it's kind of like AAU basketball to organized basketball overseas, where it's like nowadays it's a lot of like the pay to play baseball players, where the differentiation in talent is like you're either really good or you're really like not that good. Whereas like a place like Japan, it's like they teach the fundamentals, everything right all the way through, and that's why overall they're starting to get
Higher
more and
floor.
more quality players,
Yeah.
higher floor players. Where it's like we got 4 or 5 different Japanese players coming to the MLB this year that are all supposed to be guys who are just going to seamlessly move in and be dominant players. So,
Right.
so a lot of talent over there. I'm not going to go into those names because I'm not going to butcher those names.
Right. But we do know Ohtani.
We know Ohtani's over there.
And that's a problem in itself.
Yamamoto's over there.
Yes.
So, I mean.
Sasaki, right?
Sasaki, Seiya Suzuki. Like, they got plenty of good players over there. So they're the defending champs. And
the best player in the world. I mean, that also feels like it was weighted in the last.
And he's going to be back to pitching again, too.
Right.
I know he's not going to pitch in this World Baseball Classic.
Thank the Lord.
That's because he's going to go pitch for the Dodgers.
Yes. Yeah. And as the U.S., we're happy about that.
Right.
We're okay about that.
But if we're going to focus back on the MLB, we had a couple big signings. We had Eugenio Suarez moving from Seattle back to the Reds. Going to be hankering down the third base position over there. Great ballpark to hit in again. So he might be another guy who gets 40 home runs again this year, even though it might come with a low batting average. But that's pretty much the way things go.
Standard.
And then also we had another good signing, which was Framber Valdez going to Detroit. Going to team up with Tarek Skubal, Jake Flaherty, and the boys and make that rotation even more dominant than it was last season. And they're a team that was close enough to the World Series last year that this is only going to help them move forward because Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, a lot of the guys have stepped up offensively, and that's just going to even help even more with a good rotation. So get some couple good signings for the MLB, and there's more to come. Get ready for a lot of fantasy baseball drafts coming up. There's a lot of exciting ones already going on.
Yep. And
you already know the closer and closer it gets to the season, the more tight that players are going to be getting taken. So many guys are going to be flying up the charts and be higher picks than they were even as right now. So make sure you guys are paying attention and get ready for the MLB season to come.
Absolutely. What is your A's prediction for next year? How are you feeling about the team?
The A's are looking exciting. I mean, they got a lot of young talent. We got Brent Rooker out there. I think Nick Kurtz. I remember back in the day we had a show where I was like, maybe we should have got Jack Caglione.
He's hurt,
but man, Nick Kurtz is absolutely killing it. Could be a 40-plus home run guy, especially in our stadium that plays like a freaking Cracker Jack box. So he hit he's hitting them everywhere. Yeah, he has light tower power. My man is hitting 500-foot home runs. Already has a 4 home run game in his pocket as a rookie. So big things that come from him. And then a lot of complimentary guys around him. Tyler Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson, Denzel Clark, Lawrence Butler. It's really our rotation that looks a little soft. We got Severino, Mark Leiter Jr., J.P. Sears, some fill-in guys. So we're getting the lineup in order, and hopefully, we get some young talent through pitching. I know we just got Arnold, I believe. Arnold, the pitcher from Florida State, who's a very good young pitcher. So
lefty, right?
Hopefully, lefty. So hopefully somebody could come up for us and be the start of a good rotation, good young rotation.
And then there's that prospect you guys got.
We got Leo DeVries, a young shortstop from San Diego, who's supposed to be a top prospect. And hey, we don't really have a second baseman right now. I know we just got Jeff McNeil, but he can kind of be a utility guy. We can move him around.
Bring him up.
If Leo can come through, I know he's only about 19 right now, but he's somebody who could be big for us.
But he is a top 10 prospect, though.
Right,
all of baseball. I mean, so it's like
he was definitely a great get from the Mason Miller trade that we made.
That was big.
Yeah.
That was big. Yeah, and then it'll be interesting to see the draft coming up. We both have some picks coming up, and we are 4th in the draft, so I'm very excited to see how that'll all shake out. But lastly, we want to highlight the Winter Olympics that are coming up. We don't have a lot to talk about them at this point, but once some events start happening and we see some of the bigger things shake out, of course, we will be highlighting some of the major events that ended up happening. But I enjoy the Winter Olympics. It tends to be something that is, for me, very exciting. I'm not sure why it's a little bit more riveting than the Summer Olympics. But it seems a little more intense.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of sports as well that I feel like I have no relation to. So maybe that's also interesting to watch, like some people that it just blows my mind that they're even doing what they're doing. But yeah, so if you're able to, make sure you check it out. Often it is a little bit of tradition for families to come together, watch a little bit of Olympics, or just for the homies to come together, watch a little bit of sports. So if you got the time, check it out.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check out the outfits that these guys got, because there's some fire outfits from some of these countries. Well, I think Mongolia has some dope ones. I think Haiti has some amazing, like, they look like a painting that they're wearing.
Right.
The woman is wearing like this like dress that's made out of like fleece and stuff.
Really?
Looks super dope. So make sure to go check out what these folks are going to be wearing in the opening ceremony, because they're dripping in swagoo sauce.
Absolutely. And without any more, we will make sure that we're back next week. We're going to be more consistent as the sports stuff kicks up. You know, it's a little bit in that summer lull, summer lull, a little bit after the winter lull. And so as we head towards summer where sports becomes really the pinnacle of everything, we'll make sure that we're gearing up and getting the show right and getting you guys up to date with everything that is happening. And as always, you know, send the show out, like, comment, and subscribe if you will. It's obviously free to press that red button. And let us know in the comments if there's anything coming up that you'd like us to talk about. We'll try to make sure we're checking all of those and that we add those into the agenda if we get some cool ones. So we'll see y'all in the next week of the Say Something Show. Appreciate y'all being with us. Peace, love, and happiness. We out.